Hello dear children, welcome back to English literature class. In the previous class, I had explained Act 3, Scene 2 till line number 218. Hope you have revised that. If you have not revised, you may not be able to understand what I am going to explain today. So, before starting with today's class, I request you to revise the earlier one. So, in the previous class, I had explained that Graciano and Nerissa had fallen in love and they revealed the truth to Bassanio and Portia. Then Lorenzo, Jessica, and Celerio entered into the scene. So, now let us continue with line number 219 of page number 132. So, here enter Lorenzo, Jessica, and Celerio. Bassanio, Lorenzo and Celerio, welcome hither. If that the youth of my new interest here have power to bid you welcome. By your leave, I bid my very friends and countrymen, sweet Portia, welcome. So Bassanio is welcoming Lorenzo and Celerio and Jessica also. And he says that if my newly acquired rights have the power to welcome you. So what is his newly acquired right? That is, he has won Portia by choosing the right casket. Then why he has used if he has the right? Because he has just won her but not yet married her. That's why he said, if I have got the power to welcome. And asking permission to Portia and welcoming the countrymen, and that is Lorenzo and Celerio. Portia, so do I, my lord. They are entirely welcome. Portia also welcomes them. I thank your honor, Lorenzo. I thank your honor for my part, my lord. My purpose was not to have seen you here. So Lorenzo says that Lorenzo did not have the intention to come here and meet Bassanio. But meeting with Celerio, by the way, he did entreat me, past all saying nay, to come with him along. So he says that Celerio persuaded him. He refused, but he did not agree to that. So he persuaded me without taking any refusal to accompany him. He refused to come there, where Bassanio is there in Belmont. But he did not agree with that and brought him here. Celerio, I did, my lord, and I have reason for it. Yes, I agree with that. I persuaded him to come over here. There is a reason for that. Signor Antonio commends him to you. So, he says that Signor Antonio sends you these greetings. There is a reason why I brought him here. And he gives a letter to Bassanio. Bassanio, ere I hope this letter, I pray you tell me how my good friend doth. So he asks about Antonio's well-being. Before opening the letter, he wants to know about Antonio. Celerio, not sick, my lord, unless it be in mind, nor well, unless in mind. His letter there will show you his estate. So he says that if he is sick, only in mind. And this letter will tell you, if you open and read the letter, you will understand what his estate, that means what his financial condition is, how his business is going on. You will come to know that. Bassanio reads the letter. Graciano, Nerissa, cheer you, yon stranger, bid her welcome. Your hand, Celerio. What's the news from Venice? How doth that royal merchant, good Antonio? I know he will be glad of our success. We are the Jasons, we have won the fleece. So here, you have to remember one thing. Always Graciano follows Bassanio and Nerissa follows Portia. So here when Bassanio welcomed Lorenzo and Celerio and also got the permission from Portia to welcome them, Graciano also follows him and asks Nerissa to welcome Jessica. Nerissa to welcome Jessica. Then he said, your hand, Celerio, shaking hand with Celerio. And he asked about the news from Venice, and about Antonio also he asked. And he says that you will be very glad to hear that we have succeeded. And we are the Jasons. We have won the fleece. In Act 1, Scene 1, you have studied about Jason. And here we are the Jasons and we have won the fleece. What is fleece here? Portia. We have won Portia. And that means Bassanio has selected the right casket and won Portia. Celerio, I would you had won the fleece that he hath lost. So here he says that I wish that you could have won the fortune that Antonio has lost. That means what is that? They have got the news that Antonio's rich cargo ship got wrecked and Antonio lost everything. So I would you had won the fleece that whatever fortune Antonio has lost. And Antonio has become a bankrupt now. Portia, there are some shrewd contents in your yon same paper that steals the color from Bassanio's cheek. Some dear friend dead, else nothing in the world could turn so much the constitution of any constant man. So here, constant man means a normal man. Here she says that Bassanio read the letter and Portia was noticing him, and while reading the letter, Bassanio's face has become pale. So Portia says that unless there is very bad news, the color of Bassanio's face will not become pale. So she concludes that some dear friend is dead. Nothing else in the world can turn his face pale. What, worse and worse? She just guesses, still worse, the contents are. With leave, Bassanio, I am half yours, and I must freely have the half of anything that this same paper brings you. Then she says that, with your permission, Bassanio, now I am half of yourself. So I must freely have the half of anything that this letter brings to you. You should tell me whatever is there, whatever the content is in the letter. Bassanio, O sweet Portia, here are a few of the unpleasant words that ever blotted paper. So he says that, dear Portia, this letter has some of the most unpleasant words that were ever written on paper. Gentle lady, when I did first impart my love to you, I freely told you all the wealth I had ran in my veins. I was a gentleman. So he says, he tells to Portia that when he had first met her and when first he revealed his love to her, he had told her that he was a noble man. He was a gentleman, that means he was a noble man. And then I told you, true, yeah, that is true. I'm a gentleman, I'm a noble person. And yet, dear lady, rating myself at nothing, you shall see how much I was a braggart. So then he continues that time I told you that regarding his wealth, he did not have any wealth. When he said that he did not have any wealth, that was also an exaggeration. When I told you my state was nothing, I should then have told you that I was worse than nothing. So what he wants to convey, he had told her that he did not have any wealth. That was also exaggeration. He did not have any wealth means his condition was zero. He could have told her that his condition was less than zero, below zero. That means he has taken loan from his friend. His condition was worse than zero. He has taken loan from his friend. So I should then have told you that I was worse than nothing. I was below nothing, below zero. For indeed, I have engaged myself to a dear friend, engaged my friend to his mere enemy. Just for my sake, I have engaged or I have bound myself to a dear friend and I made my dear friend pledge himself to his worst enemy to get the money I needed. He made his best friend to sign a bond with his enemy to get money for himself. So that means he was below nothing. When he said that he was nothing, that was also exaggeration. He could have told Portia that he was below nothing. To feed upon my means, that means to fulfill my needs. Here is a letter, lady, the paper as the body of my friend, and every word in it a gaping wound, issuing life blood. So he says that the paper on which it is written may be compared to the body of my friend. You can compare this letter, the paper, as my friend's body, and every word on it is an open wound from which blood is gushing out, blood is oozing out. But it is true, Celerio? Is it true, Celerio? Hath all his ventures failed? What, not one hit? From Tripolis, from Mexico and England, from Lisbon, Barbary and India? So he's asking Celerio. Celerio, he had so many ships when going to different places. You must be remembering it is told in Act 1, Scene 1 that Antonio had many ships going to different places. So he's asking that all these ships got wrecked, nothing escaped the wreck, and not one vessel escaped the dreadful touch of merchant marring rocks. All the ships got wrecked. How is it possible? He was not able to believe this. Celerio, not one, my lord. Not even a single ship got escaped. Besides, it should appear that if he had the present money to discharge the Jew, he would not take it. So another problem is that even if he had money to give to Jew was not ready to take it. He was so stubborn. Shylock was so stubborn. Never did I know a creature that did bear the shape of a man, so keen and greedy to confound a man. I have never seen a person, I have never come across a creature in the form of a man so eager and greedy to destroy another man. He was so eager, he was so greedy to destroy Antonio. He wanted to take revenge. He plies the Duke at morning and night, and doth impeach the freedom of the state if they deny him justice. Very important. What he does? Morning and evening, he goes to Duke and threatens legal action against the country system if the country denies him justice. Because in earlier also we have seen that foreigners are given much freedom in Venice because the business of Venice depends mostly on foreigners. So Duke himself and the Magnificos means the noble people, Magnificos of great port have all persuaded with him. Everybody has requested him, all persuaded him not to take the bond. But none can drive him from the envious plea of forfeiture of justice and his bond. But nobody could persuade him to back out from that. Jessica, when I was with him, I have heard him swear to Tubal and Chus, his countrymen, that he would rather have Antonio's flesh than 20 times the value of the sum that he did of him. So Jessica also gave the news, whatever she heard there. She says that when she was in Venice, she had heard Shylock telling to Tubal and Chus that even if Antonio is ready to give 20 times the value of the sum, he would not accept it. And I know, my lord, if law, authority and power deny not, it will go hard with poor Antonio. And she was very sure because she knows about her father. So I know well, my lord, that unless the law and the higher power intervene, it will be difficult for Antonio. So law and higher power will have to interfere with the case. Only then there is some hope. Otherwise, it is sure that he is not going to go back from the bond. Portia, is it your dear friend that is thus in trouble? Portia is asking Bassanio, is it your dear friend? Bassanio, the dearest friend to me, the kindest man, the best conditioned and unwearied spirit. So Bassanio is using so many adjectives. He does not have words to praise Antonio. So yes, my dearest friend, the kindest man, the best mentioned man, never tired in showing kindness to others. He is such a person, an unwearied spirit in doing courtesies. That means he is never tired of showing kindness to others. Such a good person he is. And one in whom the ancient Roman honor more appears than any that draws breath in Italy. So he says that Roman people were very good in their words of honor and their gentlemanly character. So he was also like that. Here he was also like Roman person and he was a gentleman. So you cannot see such a person in whole Italy. Portia, what sum owes he the Jew? How much he has to give to Jew? Bassanio, for me 3,000 ducats. For me means for my sake. He has taken it for me. 3,000 ducats. Portia, what? No more? Pay him 6,000 and deface the bond. So Portia says, why? Only this much? You know that Portia is a very rich lady. So she says that only this much money. So you give 6,000 and cancel the bond. Double 6,000 and then treble that before a friend of this description shall lose a hair through Bassanio's fault. So she says that you just give double the 6,000 and then multiply by 3 rather than let such a friend suffer the slightest harm through the fault of Bassanio. That means because of your fault, such a good person should not suffer in life. So just give him as much as you want. First, go with me to church and call me wife. Suppose we'll go first we will go to church and we'll get married and then away to Venice to your friend. After that you go to Venice. For never shall you lie by Portia's side with an unquiet soul. So why she is asking him to get married and he can go to Venice? Because she does not want that. Bassanio should live with her with an unquiet mind. Okay. You shall have gold to pay the pretty debt 20 times over. So you can take gold also from here. That means as much as money you want to give that petty. For her it is petty. Why it is petty for her? Because she is very rich. And when it is paid, bring your true friend along. So after paying that much money, how much ever he wants, and bring your friend also. My maid Nerissa and myself meantime will live as maids and widows. So till you come back, we both, myself and Nerissa and myself, will be living as widows and maids. Means without husband will be living. Come away. For you shall hence upon your wedding day. So today is our wedding day. And today itself you leave. After calling me wife, after conducting our wedding ceremony, you bid your friends welcome, show a mercy cheer. So she's telling that welcome your friends and show a cheerful face. Be happy. Since you are dear bought, I will love you dear. She says that since I have won you very dearly with much difficulty, I have won you, I shall love you dearly. But let me hear the letter of your friend. So first I want to hear the letter. Bassanio reads. Bassanio, sweet Bassanio, my ships have all miscarried. My creditors grow cruel. My estate is very low, and my bond to the Jew is forfeit. And since in paying it, it is impossible I should live, all debts are cleared between you and I, if I might but see you at my death. So what he says that, dear Bassanio, my ships have perished, all my ships have perished. My creditors are going impatient. My finances have fallen very low. That means I don't have business now. And the due date of my bond to the Jew has expired. I could not pay. Paying the penalty to him means that surely losing my life, because in the bond it is written that a pound of flesh from near the heart, from the chest region near the heart of Antonio. That was Shylock's demand. That was one of the clause in the bond. And he says that please regard all debts. So regard all debts between you and me as settled. So once I die, all debts between you means Bassanio and Antonio, are settled. I only wish to see you as I die. So before my death, I want to see you. Notwithstanding, use your pleasure. So in spite of my desire to see you, please be free to act as you wish. That means if you don't feel like coming here, please don't come. Or come here only after completing your work. If your love do not persuade you to come, let not my letter. So if you don't feel like coming here, don't come. Only just because of my letter, please don't come over here. Portia, O love, dispatch all business and be gone. So she immediately told Bassanio that finish all your business here and go. Immediately you go from here. She didn't even force him to go to church and get married. Bassanio, since I have your good leave to go away, permission, good leave means permission to go away, I will make haste, let me go very soon. But till I come again, no bet shall ever be guilty of my stay, nor rest be in interposer twixt us twain. So he says that, since I have your kind permission to go, I will hurry up. But till I come back, I will not go to bed, and no rest shall keep me separated from you. That means, till my work is not finished, I am not going to take rest. As soon as possible, I'll finish my work and come back. So children, here I am going to stop. The next video will be discussing the workbook and revise this part also, and revise the workbook and start writing the question answers. Thank you. Have a good day.